to
I don't know.
well,
I guess the art or whatever in that scenario. Like you're blocking it out by like, I guess in your sense you're technically supporting the artist by buying his paintings. But I guess
well, this guy didn't commit any crime. It's just like he's obviously insane and making it up, but I just still like the art.
Right.
Which is not the same level, obviously, as if he had committed a crime or something. But the thing I can see the case for both sides. I can see why people would be like, yuck, I'm not gonna have anything else to do with him after hearing that news. Versus,
if the developer of this game, like one of the head developers, came out with some really fucked up story, just like the worst thing. Maybe he like murdered. I mean, this is all hypothetical, but he just did something really fucked up. I don't think I'd stop playing Warcraft.
I have one of a kind.
Because I like the game, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, I mean,
I'd have a hard time supporting it because I know like someone would fund, you know, maybe his deal and stuff. But
well, it's also not like this game was made by one person. It's like one of the main.
Okay, so Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley was made by one dude.
Oh, and yeah, uninstall.
You'd uninstall Stardew Valley?
I mean, it's just because I don't like the game.
Like, I like playing in the plane. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like playing in the plane. Does that mean like I would stop playing it?
Right. Yeah, like I said, like I could definitely see like kind of both sides. I could see how somebody would just absolutely not want anything to do with them, but I also don't think that people who still are okay with listening to it and playing those games is necessarily a bad thing. I get that, like, you're kind of giving them money, and that's kind of bad, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. See, there's like I'm arguing with myself in my head. Like,
right. I think there's levels to it.
Yeah, not a line in the sand, as they say. I'm surprised we got so serious.
That's alright, dude. It's fun to get serious sometimes.
We got much else to talk about in this Westfall ass town.
Light bless you. Greetings.
Anubalore Delanar. Delanar.
Greetings. Greetings. Greetings.
I do think it's like 2 or 3 different voice actors for every human character.
There's a few different voice actors for the humans.
Are there?
For sure. Yeah. These are greetings. Like, there's like some pretty high pitched like beta male voice acting going on.
Beta male voice acting.
Hey there. How are you?
That could still be the same voice actor, just
no, it's not.
Voices.
Well, maybe it is. Maybe you're right. Actually.
Yeah, a talented.
I need
voice
my
actors.
greetings. Hey there. I need that.
Call up the guy who did those voice lines. I wonder if they got paid a lot, or if they still use like the voice lines that they originally got.
They get paid every time you turn a quest in.
Dude, that'd be insane. Could you imagine?
Like
how many tens
half,
of millions of people?
half of a penny.
That would still be pretty significant. Like that's how much like a Spotify artist gets paid for like every play, right? You get like 500 million plays. Although I don't think 500 million quests have been turned in Westfall, or even like on the Alliance.
Maybe they have.
Actually, no, probably. There was like what? 12 million players.
500 million. So each player would have to
Quest.
have done like just 4 quests.
What?
Oh, you said. Oh, I
think
thought you said 50 million.
No, I think the peak was like 12 million players, right? And then you guys, like, roughly half of them are Alliance. So 6 million people over the course of the whole game. Yeah, they probably heard that voice line 500 million times total. Like, you do 100 quests before you even hit level 20.
Yeah. Anyway.
Just thinking out loud. Why are you so ahead of me? Are these people still helping us?
These 3 people are. They've been pretty good so far, dude. 75 million at the peak. 75 million people do not play this game.
No, that is way off. They stopped reporting the player count after Cataclysm, and that was, I think, at 10 million, which was down from Wrath.
Wrath was like 12 or 14.
I think it might have peaked at 12 or 13. But that was like when it was at their highest, and that's when the game was at its best, really.
I didn't play Wrath, honestly.
You didn't?
No.
When did you start?
Vanilla.
But you didn't play Wrath? You like took a break?
Yeah, I played a lot of Vanilla, and then I did some of Burning Crusade, but I don't know if I had like school or if I was like...
Just fell off.
Yeah, I definitely fell off after Burning Crusade. And then Wrath I skipped, and then everyone's like, Wrath was so good. So I felt like I missed out, so I jumped back into Kata, and boy, wow.
Kata's still okay.
It was a wow of a time.
Oh hey.
I liked Dragon Soul though. It was alright.
What did you like about Kata?
I mean, everything kind of felt different to me already. I was playing like a rogue, and I didn't like the way my rogue felt, so I switched and I just did healing. I forget I mean, they had like major talent changes. I think Dungeon Finder was like becoming like a real thing.
Yeah, I think that's when Dungeon Finder actually became like what it is now. And like obviously the whole world like breaking up. Which that was honestly like my favorite part.
I feel you. Like you're talking about like how they broke them apart.
Yeah, and like 1,000 Needles being flooded and stuff. I don't know. I thought that was cool. But I could see that being pretty jarring for someone who skipped Wrath.
I think I leveled up in Wrath though. Well, no. Well, like I guess once it was done, I did the whole Wrath zone to level up, just to understand it.
Came out.
But yeah, I didn't do like I kind of didn't like it leveling up. I was really tired of seeing snow all the time.
Dude, that's exactly how I felt.
And then like
every
the
zone, I was like, God.
Trolls. The stupid, ugly, fucking idiot trolls in there. Yeah, that really triggered me.
I spent so much freshman year just running the same Wrath of the Lich King dungeons over and over again, trying to level up to get to, I think it was 80 in Wrath? Yeah, I think it was 80.
Wrath was 80.
It was so just gross, dude. I hate snow. I hate snow in video games. That's why I couldn't play Skyrim. Everybody else always says that they do. Like, I got a friend who's like...
I started playing it recently.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
Well, I just downloaded a whole bunch of mods.
Yeah, that's how they say.
Because I'm not leveling up like legit. It's just I don't have that type of like time. We had a buddy in like an old band that like we went to the studio and he brought his like entire like PC rig just to play Skyrim at the studio.
Like while you were rehearsing or something?
Well, we weren't rehearsing. We were just recording like tracks at that point. So it was like just depending on the day. And at night we were done because we stayed at the location for a week, so we could finish the whole album there.
Oh, I see.
And he like brought his entire like PC. Yeah, he was committed, dude.
You gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, the game was definitely pretty great, but like I had the same issue that you had with Wrath, where it's just like there was just snow, and I hate snow areas and I hate snow people.
Snow people.
Like, the same characters, you know.
Like the NPCs they designed in like snow zones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That got Monka-esque for a second.
Like I have a friend who says like he's got over 2,500 hours in Skyrim, and I'm like, oh, I got bored after 100.
I
don't know how to game's very like, there's a lot of
is there like a lot to do?
There's quite a lot to do. Yeah, there's like different guilds and shit you can progress through. There's different storylines and a lot of like skill trees which change the way that things are played. Like there's a lot to do, but like I don't know if you've ever played Witcher 3.
I played it a little bit.
The thing I like a lot about Witcher 3 is that like all the side quests are pretty much side quests. I really like that. Going on an adventure, but with Skyrim it was like just doing the same shit over and over again in different templates. So like, oh, this guild you just do the same shit, but you're wearing dark clothes, you know?
Gotcha.
I don't have a tongue.
Now there's Switch keys. I don't know why they want to release it for the Switch.
Are they actually releasing it for the Switch?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be? I don't even know why I'm asking. I don't know if I would get it. I probably wouldn't get it. I don't think. I get a lot of the Switch games too. Solitaire. So, because I have the PlayStation 4, and first of all, that's where I played at. Which I should play it on PC because that's where the modding community really is.
Yeah.
But like that's where I just like chilling out and playing on my PS4, and that's like one of the games I've had on there for a while. So I've just committed. So I can imagine the modding scene on the Switch is gonna be like fantastic, and I really feel like they're gonna be limited.
I feel like there's not going to be any mods on the Switch.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess
It's going to be sad. I don't know. I guess the mods for Skyrim, like, change a lot of stuff, but for me, they don't really make the game more enjoyable if I've already played it through once. Maybe I just have the wrong
I can't attack that.
it wasn't always like this though.
It kind of was. Like, WoW has always been pretty grindy.
Well, yeah, the grindy part, but like that was.
But like turning off your brain, just going on autopilot, kind of thing.
Yeah, but like they didn't used to have the quest markers on the map like the way they do now.
Yeah, true. I had to go on WoWhead all the time.
Yeah, I used Thoughtbot a lot.
Oh yeah, and Thoughtbot. I had to download add-ons.
Yeah, well, yeah. Because yeah, add-ons were kind of a thing. That's true. Like recount.
Yeah, Blizzard actually like incorporated a lot of add-ons into the game. So, like, the Armory was originally just an add-on.
Yes.
That Blizzard was just like, oh, we'll take that.
True.
Good idea.
Good idea. Blizzard's part. Well, it's not really stealing. It's like for their game, and someone who's like, hey, this is a lot easier if you have this. And they're like, oh, true. And they're like, yeah. But the Skyrim mods thing, that's it's like, that got weird. Honestly, like, I don't know. That's like a single player game, so that's probably totally irrelevant. But the fact that they would like charge people, I guess that helps the modders out. Did it help the modders out? Like when they kind of like repo like the modding and charge for the mods.
Oh, made them pay for it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't, that wasn't when I played when that stuff started happening. I was kind of in the early days of the whole modding community.
Gotcha.
So I don't know what it's like now. But people still go on about how Skyrim mods are the best, so I trust them. Is that still a thing? Does that make them
I think they pulled like mod buys. But it does like some of the modders got money for it too. But the mods were free for a long time.
Right.
So that's I think where a lot of the issues came up.
Yeah, it's pretty scummy.
It's more like if like WoW, it's like if WoW charged money for people downloading like Recount or something, or like any of the mods that people use.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. Aren't they actually coming out with legacy servers now? Much like public outcry.
Well, the public
Like
outcry came from the fact that they decided to take down all the private servers. Like how they were getting money.
People have been asking Blizzard to do that, like, like since Burning Crusade, and they've always been like, no, you don't want that, you don't want that. I guess it was like.
Well, it was like that one interview where they're like, "You don't want it."
Yeah,
I don't know. I used to play on private servers when I was younger. Like once I couldn't afford like Burning Crusade later. My dad used to pay for my subscription fee. And then one day he's like, "Hey, do you still play Warcraft?" And I was like, "Not really," because I think I was more into Xbox, like Call of Duty and Halo 3 and stuff.
Right.
And he's like, "All right, well I'm gonna cancel this WoW subscription." And I was like, "Oh, okay." But then I still wanted to play it every once in a while, so I had to like kind of be like, you know, low key, like download the private servers and play on there. But I'd play like PvP because I really liked.
I needed to.
I really like I like vanilla PvP. So I played on those servers just looking. Then since I couldn't play the real game, so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. What was the name of that like the biggest private server on or for WoW that Blizzard took down?
Yeah, it was like Lawless or the Congress. That is Nostralis, there we go. Nostralis,
yeah. I played on that one.
You did.
Well, yeah, when that server got announced was being shut down, that was like the saddest week I've ever seen. Like people were, because like all the characters on there, they were like, we can't do anything. Like we literally just can't log in anymore after this week. It was like knowing Doomsday was coming, knowing like a big meteor was heading toward Earth and there was nothing you could do.
Yeah.
Like the solidarity of that community was touching, you know?
Yeah, I wonder about the classic stuff. It's not like, I don't feel like, and I could be wrong if people actually had the numbers, but I don't feel like there's a huge population for private servers. Like even the private servers I played on, definitely not as much as WoW, but I just don't really, like I'd say like maybe 30,000 people might play on WoW private servers at any given time. Probably less than that, honestly.
Yeah, probably way less.
So compared
nowadays.
to WoW's numbers, there was really like a small chunk of change that they like, you know, stopped from people getting.
Right.
And on top of it, they still didn't have access to like their live game, so it's not like they could just like, hey, we'll give you WoW at like $5 a month, you know, like that was.
I need to target someone.
It's good now to actually.
Well, part of the reason I played was because first of all, I didn't want to level up to get the max gear and then like jump into PvP. That would take me months. So I would just be like, oh, I want to just get like the max like road like, and I just have to buy it with whatever fucking charm. Then I would just go on, log on. I had like a buddy that was also, you know, playing, and I just at home, just like pretty casual like PvP. But there's good people on there too.
Yeah, that was definitely something I miss about my early days in WoW, was being a part of guilds and like meeting all the people, like logging onto Ventrilo and way before Discord.
It's gonna be. You know what was fun though? They did Molten Core Week, and I had a lot of fun in that. It was like
they just rated Molten Core.
Well, they did it like recently. I think for start of Legion, no, or WoD. I forget. Maybe that was longer ago. And yeah. So that was a lot of fun, because they scaled Molten Core like up, basically, and you do it, and you need
like a modern raid.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it was 40 players. They did something with it, but it was totally not balanced correctly or anything. Because like even back in the day, you had like limitations on spells and abilities and cooldowns and whatever. But it was really fun because people were like, "Oh, what the fuck is this Molten Core?" Like it was cool watching people learn the fights and stuff. So probably have fun for that. But actually doing all of vanilla, like, I don't know if I'm gonna have the patience. And I don't. If I don't have the patience, then a lot of the new players that have played since then are not gonna have the patience.
Dude, the first time I leveled up like a character ever, just the most agonizing thing. Like it took so long. Like, and Blizzard has obviously sped up the leveling process like a lot just for new players. And even now, in 2018 WoW, it still like takes forever. So I can't even imagine how long it actually was back in the day. It'd probably be level 6 by now.
Yeah, this would be like maybe level 8 or something.
And that's also something that they kind of got rid of in the following expansions, was the big like 40-player raids. I think the last of those in Burning Crusade, then it all went down to like 15-player stuff. I'm pretty sure, which was sad. It was fun being a part of like big 40-man just clusterfucks, really.
I think what they should have done is just keep the huge raids and just let guilds that recruit that many people and can sustain, let them run it.
But they like got rid of the option for having a 40-man even.
Right. Which is like, you're pretty much telling people no more 40-man raids, whatever. And even if people maybe weren't attending at the numbers they were at the start, like Wrath is when they really started doing that. So Wrath is like when the population was the highest is when they nerfed like raids basically. And since then they've just like made it more and more casual, and that's like part of the fun is just like, oh, you actually have to try hard to get into like a good guild, and you actually have to like put in effort versus like, oh, I'll do LFR and I'll see the whole raid.
When I first got to cap in Burning Crusade, when I first got to 70, and I joined like a pretty decent like raiding guild, they were brutal about it. They were like, we raid this time, these days, and if you're not there, it would kick you. Like it was just.
But the guilds were huge too, because to have that many numbers, you had to have like a huge guild.
Yeah.
And what was cool is that you had like a community, because you'd have like your raiding group, you'd have a guild, or like you'd have a group in the guild that also PvPs, and so the guild was more than just like log in on this day and then we'll like do this raid. Because for Draenor, I was streaming it, and I put together like a mythic guild, and Aaron was in it and some other people, but we were like a 20-man mythic guild doing like the content. That was fun, but it was not at all like the way it was. Like I didn't feel like I had a guild. I felt like I just had 20 people who like signed up for like a yoga class, you know.
Yeah, like part of the charm, I think, of it was, you know, that you kind of needed each other to be there. Like you needed the same people to be there every time to actually like do it successfully. And then, you know, Raid Finder happens, and I don't know. I feel like guilds kind of lost their intimacy, like their sense of community almost, because you don't really need guilds anymore.
No, not to do most of the content. If you want to do like actual like even like heroic raids, you can just do pickup groups. Like especially with Group Finder now, you can just like look up just whatever the hell you want, and you'll more than likely find it.
Yeah,
which is okay, I guess, but
dude,
weird.
Back when I had to get groups together for the early Wrath dungeons, I would have to search for people of that class and level and whisper them and ask them if they wanted to join, and had to like just go through tons of people.
But that was okay. I mean, I understand that maybe that was an extra step, but that was perfectly okay. Versus,
it was okay, yeah.
No one even talks in dungeons anymore.
Close to closing
Yeah.
the siege round for Michael.
That's also a sad
Can't wait
thing.
to hope to sponsor the podcast. In 4 hours.
I don't know. I feel like
Thank
they
you,
just did all
bro.
that to make the game like more
Appreciate that.
accessible, I guess, which makes
Yeah,
sense.
hopefully.
But
Do it.
I mean, their biggest fan base was the hardcore fans. I feel like they should have leaned the other direction. That
I feel like if you make the hardcore players happy, then you're probably doing good. Because then it just trickles down from there. And if you want to waste your time with making the casual player base happy too, you can find room with it, but I don't think you have to like punish the hardcore people while you're trying to make like once a week people happy. I don't see any reason in doing that.
because WoW's not very good for like casual gaming. You know, it's a game you kind of have to commit to a bit. I mean, less so nowadays, obviously, but
Yeah,
I feel like that was part of
it's
it.
a lot more it's like a lot more casual now, especially just so you can just like find groups and stuff. It's pretty easy to do. Like I was pretty casual for Legion. Like I did all of heroic for that last raid. Like I leveled up my warrior and stuff and just pretty much pugged the heroic raid. Didn't have to join like a guild or anything.
Yeah, ditto. Like the biggest break I took was like shortly after Cataclysm came out, and I leveled up my goblin, and then I quit until like the Deathwing raid came out,
Right.
and
Dragon
that was
Soul.
when like yeah, Dragon Soul, and then the patch that had that come out was when I was taking my hiatus, so I came back, and that was also when like the looking for raid thing was like fully formed. So I just remember pugging into a random raid for Dragon Soul, and then the fight was totally anticlimactic and easy, and I was like, this is what this has been building up to. Wow.
That sucks too, because I downed it with my guild, and we had only 10 people when I was playing. I was just playing with some friends and fans actually. I was like
Just
playing it on the
sad.
side, but it was so fun doing that. Like with even 10 people on normal, it was like cool, we did it. Looking for group is our guild or whatever raid is just the worst. Like I don't care if you don't have time to play the game, but seeing like a hardcore boss that you see in the little trailers just fucking get bullied by some like people that you're not even like healing or you're not even literally doing anything. It's just how is that?
It takes
How
the
is that
fun out of it.
How is that fun? I guess it's like, oh, you don't get as good gear, but realistically, I mean, if you're not looking to get good gear anyway, right? You're just like looking to see what's going on. And
Well, it probably is mostly the problem of people just going to like get gear because it's really all they care about. But like, it's just the
if they only care about gear, then they would actually do normal and they would actually do heroic and mythic versions of those raids.
well, that's true.
So if they're doing LFR, they're either like, and I'm not counting the first week because the first week's like different because everyone's trying to do like LFR just to get like last minute pieces and stuff and offsets.
Yeah.
But if they're just hopping in, they're like, oh, I'm gonna do LFR. That's just like the lazy man's like version of the game.
And that's what I did a lot, just because like I wasn't with the guild that I used to be with, and like I didn't really have.
But you
anybody
could
to-
have, if you had like incentive to do it. You could have, if you knew like, oh,
Yeah,
I
and
want to
that
look
would've
at
been
a
way more fun.
raid, but the only way I can look at a raid is if I join a guild. Then you would go out and you would try to find a guild, and you would actually have like a better experience because then you'd have like actual human interaction with this game.
It's like an allegory for our generation, you know. We don't need to go outside and talk to people anymore. We just have everything we need at the push of a button, you know.
Right. Sorry, I took like fucking hurricane damage. You're right.
Feels like that a bit. Because like the best thing about WoW to me when I first started was the people you'd play with and like the experiences you'd have with those people, and like the dumbing it down just kind of made it less fun. That's part of the reason why I just
Well,
stopped
we're
playing.
doing this now, and a lot of people that are doing this with us are having a lot of fun, and that's primarily because, at least I feel, like we're, you know,
It's a group of buds.
well, we're doing it together, you know, and we care about the gear, right? Like I care about what I get out of Dead Mines because I know it's gonna help me, but I care more about hanging out with people that are my friends and like us doing things together and us like succeeding together, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I would not care if like I joined Dungeon Finder right now. I totally get that I could just get run through by random people. They wouldn't talk to me once, and the dungeon would be over in 10 minutes, easily, sure.
Yeah,
But that's just I don't see how that's fun.
it wasn't. LFR is still a thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely still a thing.
It's shitty. Like the biggest thing that took away from the game, well, not the biggest, obviously, but like I think I was saying earlier, guilds just don't matter. Like guilds used to have like prestige. Like you needed to have like people vouch for you to join a guild. Now it's just, oh yeah, we need members to help us get this achievement.
Yeah, that was very cool. Yeah, I joined a guild. It was like maybe second or third in the server. And all I remember from vanilla was just really the people in that guild and like interacting with them and like the friends I met and how fun that was.
Yeah, it was my favorite. Like we'd run Naxxramas like every week, and just doing Naxxramas with all those people, it was really a fun time. And I haven't really had an experience like that in WoW, pretty much until doing this challenge, this dumb fucking hate this challenge.
Yeah, we all hate this challenge, but I guess it's fun.
I guess it's quite a challenge.
And it's weird too, like I said, the gear and stuff is like Like it's shitty like Deadmines gear, but anytime anyone gets a piece, they're like, oh my god, you know. And I haven't had that feeling in like a long time. Even in my warrior, when I'm doing Legion raids, and I kill a heroic boss, and personal loot gives me a gear, I'm not like, oh my godding, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like
I don't really get that.
Maybe I'll sell it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I just don't get that feeling anymore. One of the reasons is like Warforged, which means basically like you're not gonna get the best gear. Like you might get like the second best in slot version of that piece, because that gear can scale higher. So that stuff's kind of like weird. So you might down that boss that took weeks, but it might also mean that you don't get like the gear that maybe you wanted. Whereas like in vanilla, like rogue gear or priest gear or whatever, when it drops, you're like, that is the best gear I can possibly get. And if you see somebody wearing that gear, you're like, that dude has the best gear in the game. And it wasn't like oh, I want it too, oh, I feel bad, why does he have it? It was more like, oh, I want to get it too, like, what do I have to do? And when you see people wearing that gear, you're like, oh, that guy's like awesome. You know, that guy's got like this cool gear, like he's must get all the ladies.
It was my older brother who got me into WoW, and I remember he was like super well known on his server because he was the first mage to have full tier 3, I think it was at the time. He was like the first mage on, I think, in the game to have full tier 3, and people like would always stop him and talk to him, and he'd get random like whispers all the time, and it was like it meant something. I could get tier 3 in an hour. I probably couldn't. I don't know what I need for tier 3.
Yeah, I mean that's not. I mean, yeah, you get like the old dungeons gear you get relatively quick.
But even now, it's like well, I guess I haven't played them long enough. But when I stopped, it was like gear didn't really. I didn't really, because with transmog, you can't really see it. People just look like whatever they want to look like. Unless you like stop to inspect them, you don't know what they got.
I don't know if transmog is good or bad. I'm like,
I like it because it makes me look like I have better gear, and that's also bad.
Well, I think part of the issue is like some of the gear doesn't look maybe as good, but maybe that's just an opinion, honestly. But like, I think even if I saw somebody wearing the new current like raid gear, I don't think I'd be like, oh my god, that guy has the current raid gear.
Yeah, it wouldn't really mean that
I'd
much.
be like, oh, he has like maybe the Warforged. Like, I know you could probably get better gear anyway. Part of the issue, and it just kind of, I mean, since you can get like that piece like 4 different times in 4 different raids, it isn't like anyone in LFR can look like that. Does that make sense? Like maybe the armor color might be different, but for the most part, you can get that specific looking gear, and so you can't like feasibly recognize like somebody just by looking at their gear anymore.
Yeah, you can't trust it. It's like plastic surgery for WoW.
Plastic surgery for WoW, yeah. I remember like outside of Ironforge on the server I was on, and I'm sure a lot of people that played had servers that had the same shit happen where like people would always be dueling outside of the Ironforge gates. Or maybe even the Stormwind gates too. The Ironforge gates is like where I would always hang out at, and then these people would show up, and whenever like a guy in like Grand Marshal gear would show up, which is like the highest possible gear you could get in PvP, like everyone would literally stop dueling. They would be like, holy shit dude, that's a fucking Grand Marshal. And he would just stand there, and people would be like just, you know, drooling over this guy, and he would just wait until he got challenged, and he would always be a good player because he'd have to be to get that gear in the first place to bought it. But
yeah, it's like seeing a rock star walk down the street.
Right. But then like every once in a while another Grand Marshal would come out, and you'd see like these 2 guys, and it would be like so hyped to be like 2 Grand Marshals are about to fucking fight you. You gotta get outside the island. That nowadays, not only would that never happen, but they completely kill the notion that they were thinking about bringing people together in the garrison. Where everyone just hides in their own garrison doing fucking
Garrisons, it did exactly that. Like, I would just hang out in my garrison, not like be around people. You could still like talk and like trade chat, but like I didn't like the garrisons.
People, no, the only thing that would happen in garrison would be, hey, daily bot outside. Everyone would run out, turn it in, run right the fuck back in.
Yeah,
Because like, why else would you have to do anything? Because you're trying to get all your shit done anyway. So it's like you almost had to be in your garrison, like progress and get the stuff.
On my so I would like drop the G spot. I would do the life of the party, come running to get to my G spot, and I felt really cool.
When you're saying G spot, you're saying G spot.
G.
See,
Keep your mind.
People
Keep
will
your
be
mind.
running to get to my G spot.
Your mind out of the gutter. My G spot. My G spot.
G spot.
Yeah, I would just lay down my G spot and they just come running.
Yeah. So I guess the point is I'm happy we're doing this, and we're kind of like making WoW feel a little bit like it used to feel.
That's the only reason I'm putting up with this bullshit Westfall leveling.
Well, cause I don't know. I feel like, well, people do Project 60, which is like they hard cap at level 60, but the whole point is like it's pretty much without the Iron Man part. You just level up, get gear. Certain spells are outlawed because they're too OP. I think Mage Frostbolt is one or some shit.
Frostbolt's too OP?
Something, because some of the powers don't scale very well for like level 60. So there's some abilities that are too much to bring up to like. When you Project 60, you just get to level 60, and stop leveling, do the raids. Your group of people, so they've done all the dungeons with. And that's pretty. Oh, Ray of Frost. There you go. Sorry, I thought it was Frostbolt. For whatever reason.
Ray of Frost, like the CC spell?
Ray of Frost. That's usually a Ray of Frost. Ray of Frost is like this laser from a it's a weird scale ball. With like a ideal like Project 16. It's a talent ability.
Did you ever play RuneScape back in the day?
Maybe when I was 11 or 12.
Did you play it like enough to like know about it?
I guess.
Like what level did you get to?
I must maybe in like level 40, 30 or 40.
So you're just a noob, huh?
I guess.
The kid who introduced me to RuneScape, he
I knew about like Zizima and shit.
Oh yeah. He still kids in school.
Wasn't Zizima like multiple people?
I don't know. From what I understood, it was just one. He had a YouTube channel.
Where the chat's popping off like Zizima. The turbulent.
The escape idle scream song that brings back nostalgia for me.
I think the only thing I really acknowledged from that is like my friends took me to. I get embarrassed. I had like friends in middle school that I would play with, and they took me to the fucking woods, dude. They took me to the wild.
Oh, the wildy?
Yeah, and my friend that I trusted was like, "Hey, just come with me, dude. We're gonna get you some good loot. Just come with me." And he fucking killed me in front of everybody. Like, all my friends were watching. They were all laughing about it. He didn't steal my gear. It was one of those things where he went to Lumbridge after and brought all my gear. Here we go. See, I told you. Yeah. And he kept some of my gold. It was embarrassing, dude. It sucked to get bullied like that.
Yeah, I thought one of the oldest tricks was a dude was like, I was the very first time I was really proud of it. And this guy was like, hey man, if you give me that rune, I'll trim it for you for free and give it back to you. It's like trimming was like, you could make the armor like gold lined.
Yes.
And I trusted him, and I just traded it all to him, and he logged off. And still to this day, I felt like it was like a mix of like disappointment.
Learn about the real world. Learn about the real world.
It's like when you see those those videos of like young like juvenile delinquents going to a real prison and being yelled at by prison guards. just kind of being slapped in the face with, oh God, people can be like this.
People can be like this.
I didn't know people had the potential to be so cruel.
Yeah, man.
That's my first taste of life.
It's pretty fun.
Oh yeah, but the kid who introduced me to RuneScape, he told me that anybody under level 36 is considered a noob. That's what a noob is.
Gotcha.
That's the first time
I remember Rune Armor. I feel like I got Rune Armor.
You did like 40%.
Or like the Rune Scimitar. Like I remember I had like the Rune Scimitar. Because the other thing was, what was it, like Amethyst maybe? What am I trying to think of? The purple one?
Type?
Yeah.
Addy?
Yeah, I think I definitely had full Addy at some point. But yeah.
I'm going big now, just thinking about it. I used to look forward, like the thing that I found as soon as I go home.
Oh, I can't wait to play RuneScape when I go home.
Yeah, even though thinking back on it, that was like the grindiest game. To level up anything, you need to for like hours.
Yeah, but that was fun. Oh, no, actually, you know what? I think I might have had pieces of the black set. What was the black set?
Black set is below Addy, and I think below
okay.
even Mithril. It was like just above Steel.
Addy set was like the green, right? It was full green.
Yeah, Addy was green. Rune is blue.
Yeah, so I definitely had, okay, so at some point I had the full black set or pieces of it, and then I definitely had the full purple set. I remember that was like a grind. Yeah, Brax luckily running away, but that was almost very, yeet. Yeah, these things are starting to actually pump out some damage over here, these fucking Murlocs. I don't know if I want to keep here. I don't know if I want to keep doing this. All these people in the party are running down here like full sprint.
Coming to save you, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that game was fun.
Mithril. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, the first skill I got to 99 was fishing, and the only way you can do that is just by pressing a fish and then just leaving yourself there for hours, just going to the bank, emptying your inventory. I don't know how I ever did. It was behind my game. Like mostly just talking to the people there who were also trying to. Eventually I just bought it, and I bought it.
Hello, Alex is here.
To target something first.
Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be any more games coming out like WoW.
No, I think WoW pretty much put the cap on the MMO genre.
You'd have to. So I think I've talked about this a lot. My idea for like a really good game would be like a mix of like Dark Souls, like Monster Hunter, and like an MMO. So you'd have like a party of 5 people playing like a game where your character moves sort of in real time, and you could do like, you know, like dungeons essentially that would be like bosses that you know, would be like big or whatever. You'd have to like, you know, dodge a lot and shit like that. So sort of like Monster Hunter, the way it is now, but like massive, like yeah, exactly. So you'd have like an auction house and stuff. I think that would be good. Aside from that, they have, you know, Star Citizen is technically a meme at the moment, but I'm sure they'll come up with games where you can have like, you know, tons of people all over the world playing like VR, like, you know, headset sort of bullshit.
That'll be the day.
Like universal games, you know.
I think there's more of a market for that maybe with just like standard online games, but I think like MMOs, like actually have like long-form like levels and stuff. I really don't think WoW that.
WoW at some point is gonna get old.
Well, yeah, but
You know what I mean? Like it's
all going on that kind of are.
yeah. I mean, WoW's a derivative of EverQuest, Lineage, you know.
That's true.
Fucking Fortnite Battle Royale, like, how many games can you bring up that's, you know, already done that? Technically, they've innovated it for sure with the whole building system and stuff, but I'm sure there's like a game that's gonna take pieces of WoW that people actually like, and then, you know, use that as a platform or foundation for like a cooler game.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a couple. Like one of my good friends really likes the game Neverwinter. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's an MMO like dungeon crawler, and I played with him for a couple hours, and I was just bored out of my mind.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not like.
It wasn't good.
I'm not like trying to like go back in time and play RuneScape, but I can say that RuneScape definitely had appealing like stuff to it. You know?
Yeah, I think it was just like a really formative year for like the people playing it and like the genre itself. Like a lot of kids played that. It was like their first MMO. I also like used to play like Aeon, which I thought used to be really good, and then like it just.
That's how you found out like the grinding system is actually ass.
Yeah, it's just like the worst.
Yeah, I feel you. How close are you to 15?
I'm 13.
Oh,
How are you? 14 already.
I'm about to be 15.
Oh golly, man.
Somebody's campfire.
Run around.
Started off all dragons down there. It's like on the first one.
It's too far away.
But I mentioned, I'm sure. I guess it's like just the having like the MMO system, because the MMO system is pretty good. One thing I didn't like about Destiny was how it's like like there's other players, but you were like limited to like how you interacted with them. And I hated the fact that you didn't have an auction house. I like being able to like trade people. It's very valuable.
Yeah, and there's like the whole like economic system as well, which is fun to play with.
Destiny, but open world. Right. So if Destiny wasn't actually open world, your loading screen wasn't like ships in the air. It's like a false sense. It's more like a big lobby. Like you have a big lobby of people, and they're all waiting to queue for whatever the fuck.
I never even played Destiny. It just looked like shit.
It was fun. The raids were fucking stupid, but it was fun.
Really? Because usually when people talk about it, like they're like, "Oh, I love the raids."
Maybe the second one. I think the first game people really liked the raids and such, but the second game I tried out and like the raids and the first raid, Taken King, I was like having like a aneurysm, like 6 hours of just straight up aneurysm. I think I beat the last boss, and like I was listening to like a guy like abusing his wife in the background.
What?
But
What does that mean?
it's just what it is, dude. I can't explain it. I
Yes,
was
you can.
first of, because it was a party, okay? It was a private
Like,
party.
Yeah, you heard it?
Yes. It was like
okay.
it was like a pickup party, and they needed more, and I spent like all night trying to beat it, and I was sick and tired of learning it or trying to teach people how to do it, because it just wasn't registering it. Like people just were not understanding the mechanics of the last boss. It was too much like to remember or think about. So the only like progress I made was with this like random group, and there was some good players in it, but there was one guy that was like screaming at his wife, like towards the tail end of it. And I didn't want to leave because I already spent like 2.5 hours with this group. So I chose to stay. It wasn't the moral thing to do, but look, dude, I'm trying to get some loot. You know, people got their own shit going on in their life. I needed to hear call-outs because part of it's like.
Wait, so you can only mute the whole party, not just one person?
I'm saying I could have muted him, but I would have needed to, like the call-outs. If that makes sense. Part of it's like you go into one area, and the other team's in the other area, and they're gonna be like, "Hey," they're like, "Hit the red button or hit the green button," and that's how you would know. So if you mute them
Jesus.
and you miss that green button, then like everyone dies basically. So you kind of need like comms.
Wow.
I'm not saying I looked over domestic abuse. I'm just saying, dude, you know, I spent like 8 hours of my life doing that last boss. You know, at that point, I didn't care, you know, if you give me a felon. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to down it.
Dave.
Morning, kids. How's it going?
What's up, Dave?
How's it going, man?
It's going good.
We're just
I
talking
like.
about domestic abuse.
Okay.
Loot is life, dude.
What level?
And
are you
we're
at?
not talking about domestic abuse. We're just what level? I'm about to be 15 actually.
I'm glad you didn't continue to clarify.
All right, that's cool.
We had deaths, Dave.
I saw the film. Not cool. I don't even understand what really happened. That's
Strippin had had a killing debuff. Or no, I'm sorry. Brett had a killing debuff. And Strippin was muted. So part of it was that none of us knew he couldn't keep Brett out because he was doing fine the whole time. And when we realized that Brett was dying, it was too late. We also didn't have as much DPS as we really should have, just because Asher was level 15, and everyone just decided to go straight into it. Right, so he had 0 gear basically going into it. So it was like 4 of us versus Shadow Fang, essentially.
Dang. Oh man.
But honestly, we probably could have made it further in if it hadn't been for that debuff.
Did I run out of poison, or is it 30 minutes? Oh, no, I'm just a fucking idiot, I think.
Yeah, you don't have poisons on.
What, how long did I not have poisons on? I thought I put them on the second I got it. Or maybe I ran out. Has it been an hour?
Well, yeah, time. It's a timer.
Oh yeah, no, I ran out.
You rolled the
60.
road?
Yeah, I went with Rogue. I play Rogue all the time anyway. Not that you could tell because you know, I forgot to put my poisons on, but yeah, I got really emo because I had this whole Rolf RP with Boy.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, it's over, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, boy's gonna be delighted about that, but really sad.
Really sad. Yeah, dude,
Boy,
it sucked.
The character of Boy is gonna.
The character Boy will be upset.
No more harassment.
That's the name of his film.
Fuck, yeah, it sucks, but you know, it is what it is. I don't know if because I'd want to level another druid because that's what made it funny is that it was like wolf form, like I was in cat form and shit, chasing him around.
Yeah.
Plus it was nice having like another healer, so maybe I will level like another feral druid my off time. Because I just didn't want to. That's what it comes down to.
The off-time leveling in this challenge is the hardest part.
Yeah, that's what we've been complaining about this whole time. It's been non-stop, just like
Like I've had to level so much off that I have to like session.
I feel you, but like today I died in the second boss of that, so it's like I didn't have to go back up to the house level. So luckily we can talk about more interesting topics to
just hanging out while we
pass the time.
You only came in because of domestic abuse.
You really didn't miss
Me.
Wow, real hard stuff, huh?
Yeah, it got pretty hard for a little bit,
I
it's
need to
been
target
nice.
something first.
but yeah, it's been okay. It's been cool.
Whatever takes me out.
I'm level 15 now. I don't know where you
I just hit 14 bars in.
Gotcha. Okay.
So a nice bunch of quests left, and then I'll be there.
Yeah, just
Alright,
do those
you-
quests.
Are either of you tank?
No.
Negative.
But Strippin said he can change. I don't know where everyone else went. Strippin has like survivor's guild, so he's basically like He's like, I'll help you. I'll help you. I'll help you do as many runs as you want. I should have died because he bubble hearts.
Oh.
Like like Tomato's character died too, so like 4 of us died.
Granddad.
Yeah, Granddad's gone. But more Greg.
How was that?
Oh, he leveled a new priest that also died today. Named Greg.
I don't know, I'm on my third.
Yeah, I forgot. You made a new one, so Craig is gone, and now it's Craig.
Craig is gone, Greg is gone.
Craig
now
gone,
Dave.
Greg also gone
now I'm
now.
Dave.
Now he's Dave.
Oh, don't let Dave die.
Third time's the charm. I've learned. I'm a better man now.
Yeah, you got this.
Yeah.
You got this.
No problem at all. No problem at all. I'm gonna die, dude. I can feel it. I'm gonna die before 20. I can feel it.
How does Dead Mind scale down? Is it 15 up? It has to be, right? Yeah, it's 15 up. I was gonna say you could almost go into 14, but that would be like no use. Pretty much have to like level up.
Why would it be no use? Because I couldn't wear anything?
Yeah, but I guess you'd get levels out of it, right? So maybe it is worth. I don't know.
Assuming I can even get like the quests.
Healers technically have a like -1 rule. It's like healers can go in at a lower level and tanks have to go in at a higher level. Does that make sense?
Well, last time we tried that.
Well, I don't.
So-
Yeah. Either way, we're gonna be gimping, so it's like you have to one at some point here.
Here is the idea that I had for Dead Mines. I run in 2 Dead Mines with you, but I change my gear spec to tank, so I can get tank gear for it, and then I'll have like some good stuff to tank with for later dungeons.
That could work, obviously.
Obviously.
Or that would work.
Obviously.
Well,
I'm down. I mean, should I get to 15 first, or?
it's like even if you get to 15, it's not.
range.
I guess I just don't feel like it's gonna matter.
It's not that big of a difference.
Like
Compared to like 15
it's not like
to
we're gonna be
24.
doing amazing damage or something. It's not like you're gonna be doing amazing damage. Like, we pretty much have to get carried through it. 15 is just
But
like
if somebody carries us, won't it scale up to them, or will they scale down to us?
it should scale down to you, but I think that they scale down to you. So either way, like it'll scale down to 15. Well, it's more bullshit for us because you don't have gear, so it's gonna suck.
Yeah.
And I'll get one shot by literally anything. Same, basically. With you. That's life.
That's life.
Yeah, as long as I don't pull anything again, or you don't pull anything, it should be pretty Gucci. It'd be nice to get some gear though.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I say for you guys, just run Dead Mines until you have like 3 blues maybe.
That's asking a lot.
That'll set you up. It'll be really good if you can get that loot. It is a lot, to be fair. And Led nearly dies from Source on board. Can anyone free me from that shit?
Okay, I joined the bottom room, but they're actually screaming in there. Like,
Like,
We're
dying.
well, like I heard terrified, like terror screams. I have no idea what's going on. Are they running something? Like Lame was screaming.
That's just how they talk.
Dude,
Tomato was
they're
screaming.
doing BFD, I think.
Yeah.
I hate BFD.
I guess you have time though. If they're doing BFD, you might as well just keep leveling until they're done. And then I'll ask them if they can give us like a Dead Mines runner or something. Because I don't want to be up all night either. TBH
Yeah.
was sort of planning on, using the second day of streaming this to also have a character, but because this is my second day of streaming this, I had to die and start over.
Yeah, your chat really loves it.
Chat's okay. Chat's hanging in there. Proud of chat.
Hang in that chat.
They didn't like the they didn't like the Resident Sleeper Worgen leveling, I don't think, but I think they've been
Oh,
okay.
it is pretty bad.
They've been okay with this so far.